But hearing Christopher Lee read Tolkien shit that is the way to go for sure.
So if you can't tell, it's happy hour at the Banner Bar. I'm Shane Wyndham. It's my good buddy Kyle Ryan. And Kyle Aaron Ryan, if you want to look him up on Spotify, musician. This is his brother Jason, who's going to be the real star tonight because I think this dude appreciates beer maybe more than most of us. He may not, maybe he does realize it. Actually. I don't know. He saves cans. Let's say that.
I like
that's. Yeah, graphic artist,
recycle.
Right?
Not, yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Good design.
I should have brought a better side beer.
Yeah, I said let's work our way this way.
So Reel's Swifty APA, which is an American Pale Ale, it's 5.2%. I'm going to be a dick and pour because it's in my hand.
Careful, she's a CIA asset.
Oh, yeah?
Apparently.
Swifty? I actually saw some shit about that recently.
They're going to rig the Super Bowl so the Chiefs win, and then they're going to interview her where she endorses Joe Biden because she's a CIA asset.
I've never seen so much bullshit.
Holy shit.
Remarkable.
And she's like, she has to be at home watching TV and like, what the fuck is going on? What's happening? I just want to blow this dude.
They've elected
a boyfriend.
a Hollywood star and then this fucker that was on TV running beauty pageants and whatever the hell else he did. Like, you love anybody, any chance they get, they love it.
Mm-hmm.
But
as long as it's for them.
As long as it's for them. I saw him coping on TV like, yeah, we got Ted Nugent and Kid Rock and good fucking luck with that. Sorry, that got strangely political. I apologize.
We're all on the same page.
That's what you get for naming your beer Swifty.
A lot of our viewers aren't.
Sorry, guys.
And those who watch know that around here, we're going to treat politics like a football team.
I hate everybody.
It's not really, but yeah. Question is, what's a reason you could see for starting your own country? Apparently, we're going to stay slightly political. We'll talk about the beer first and then move on to the question.
That sounds probably like a good idea.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this will go well now.
Do we need to smell the beer?
Yeah. You can taste it if you want. There's nothing wrong with it.
So what is this? This is an IPA?
It's an American Pale Ale.
American Pale Ale.
It is an IPA.
But a little bit lighter.
I think what they do, and I'm probably wrong, insert the meme here.
Wrong.
It smells great. It smells
really good.
Glacial Pale Ale. That's where I'm at. And
I gotta tell you, it's a little tastes a little watered down for a pale ale.
Tastes like a Miller Pale Ale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not bad, but it's not very forthcoming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you really got to try to taste it.
The smell was the best part.
Yeah, it smells. I don't want to say it smells better than it tastes because again, it doesn't taste bad, but the smell is more potent than the flavor.
Best I can give this beer is if you're at a party and that's all they have and it's super fucking cold and you are just slamming them.
You'll make do.
This will be good.
Or if you have a friend who's like a real wiener, but they want to try a pale ale.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, here you go, wiener friend. Try that. And if you like that, then we'll move on. If you don't like that, then you don't like pale ales at all.
You just like wiener.
Just like wiener. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
It feels cold throughout. I appreciate that. But it is real light in the body. Mm-hmm. I'm not expecting that from anything that says pale ale. It's a little too light. I'm with you guys.
It feels like maybe it would be more flavorful if it wasn't cold.
Do you want more?
I mean, there's more in that can.
You're welcome to
grab.
So.
But I feel like maybe if that was not room temperature, but just a little warmer, that maybe the flavor would stand out more.
Because I feel like that I don't dislike it is that as much as I dislike other pale ales.
Yeah,
lets me know that it's not.
It's not. It's inoffensive, but that doesn't translate to good.
Yeah,
but it's not bad either.
No, it's not.
It's very milk. It's milk toast.
Yeah, I still think you'd be surprised, Jason. You get the right fruit flavor in your IPA, for instance. I mean, they do it with pale ale too, just not as much.
The scent is there.
Yeah. No, it really for me it comes down to the hoppiness, and I've just not acquired the give me the full hop.
Like honestly, on a
Taste.
second drink now, I can't taste anything.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
The lack of
Did you bring
bitterness.
COVID into my house, sir?
No, you know what though? I do have allergies going on right now, and I'm super like
allergies.
I actually tested the other day because I've had like a runny nose, and my throat was scratchy, and I was so tired. I was like, I swear to fucking God, if I don't get to go drink beer because I got stupid COVID, I'm gonna be pissed.
I would have told you to come over anyway.
But
These days it doesn't even rob
fine.
your sense of smell from what I...
Yeah, no, it was fine. And then I was like, it's probably just allergies because the weather's changing. I went, that makes perfect sense. And then I took a Benadryl. I was like, oh, hey, what do you know?
I'm probably going to be the odd duck here, but I'm actually going to give it a 6. I really don't like the body. I really think it fails to punch in the flavor department.
Yeah.
Even though it feels like an ice house beer, which I like. I love the smell. I love the after when you're sitting on it. So yeah, I would say it's good. I'd say it's better than decent, but it is a bit disappointing for sure, based on the smell.
I'm gonna give it a decent 5. It's got I agree with you. The smell is there, and that's good. It's got a high drinkability. Like I could drink a whole 6-pack of those and not feel weighed down.
Not even have a buzz.
But also, yeah, probably not gonna have much of a buzz. It's only 5%. But yeah, there's not really a whole lot to taste there. Like it's a great sniffer, but you're not getting a lot of flavor for it. But a lot of people, that's what they want.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people drink. I don't want to say shitty beers. I think every beer has its place, but less flavorful microbrews, if you will. Because people are just trying to go for volume,
Yeah.
And if that's what you're going for, then it's probably right up your alley. But I mean, coming from real ale too, though, I expected a little more. Yeah, I'm gonna give it that 5, though. Like, it's not bad. There's nothing bad about it. It's just I expected
A little something
more.
extra.
I don't want to interrupt your time here, Jason, but maybe it's the name. I mean, Swifty, I hadn't thought about that till y'all brought it up.
You know what? Yeah, it's a quick drinker. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
maybe
like a pop version.
Maybe they're doing it on purpose. Like, it might be intentional, and that's all well and good.
But I remember Taylor Swift stuff.
Yeah, it's very forgettable.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5 because it's in that range of it's decent, but it's forgettable.
That's respectable.
It's more Jessica Simpson.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
talking like Dukes of Hazzard era type.
Tony Romo, just
All right.
Because you know what? Even Ashley Simpson is memorable for that one thing.
That's one thing.
Did you ever see her?
I don't know what that one thing is.
Really? Man, okay. You guys never saw her SNL performance?
No, I remember Lindsay Lohan, but never saw Ashley.
Ashley Simpson was on SNL as a musical guest, and she started the song. Well, they started the wrong track, and it revealed that she is just lip syncing the whole time. Which that in and of itself is well. But then she did like this weird like Irish jig. And then, just walked off stage in embarrassment, and it was like, well, that was the last time she ever performed anywhere ever.
that would not be forgettable if I had seen it. That might not be forgettable, and I haven't seen it. So.
Yeah, it was like the secondhand embarrassment was strong. Okay, so but what was the question?
Reason you could see for starting your own country.
That's easy because every other country sucks.
Yeah, because I live in a country.
I was talking to my wife.
So we're talking about our own as well. Because my answer was going to be, have you seen what's going on in this country recently?
Oh, no, yeah, no. This one is included. Yeah. I was talking to my wife a couple weeks ago about, man, I really wonder how much money you need to start your own country. That's kind of one thing that blows my mind. We have
we have
several billionaires now. How much does Jeff Bezos have? 250 billion or something?
Arguably, they have their own countries.
I don't know.
Arguably, they all have their own private islands. They do it up.
But what I'm saying is surely those guys have enough money that they can be like, hey, I started Jeffistan over here.
So whose billionaire country?
Whores and cocaine are legal, everyone. But you're not invited because it's my country. Fuck you.
Something slips through the cracks. We'd be all right.
Right, and then God, you have to think about the immigration problems they're going to have too.
Oh, damn.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, really, I think the main reason would be because I just don't
Bill
want
Gates.
I just don't want to deal with other stuff, you know. But then you got to think about like what it really takes to have a functioning country, and you probably just end up right back in the same piece of shit situation that you're in. You're like, God.
Kyle would rather take a nap, make some music. You know?
Can I sleep for a while?
But Jason, you go ahead.
No, I would do Bill Gates, billionaire country.
Okay.
I think,
I
given
feel
the
that.
billionaire circle we have, that's going to be the lesser of all evils.
For sure. I'm not in disagreement. That's why.
I mean, yeah, as far as billionaires go,
Yeah.
he's probably one of the better ones. Jeff Bezos' wife, she's pretty good.
I mean, are we all?
Ex-wife, I mean.
No, yeah.
As long as it's X, she still got the billions. So.
Technically, we're all living in Elon Musk's billionaire world.
Yeah,
given that it's the singularity.
It's a little weird.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that guy who got the stupid chip implanted in his brain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting to see how long it takes until he turns into a fucking...
He realizes he's in the Matrix.
Megatron or something, you know?
Why am I having sex dreams with Elon Musk? This ain't right.
And he's like, this is going perfectly. This is exactly how it's supposed to go. It makes sense.
I'm going to go political on the answer here, and I apologize. I always
Let's
apologize for political stuff. But, I mean, you guys know me personally. Never vote Republican because I've never found anything redeeming in their policy, stances, period. But it's kind of hypocritical to, point out, hey, we don't want to 91 criminal charges running for president on the Republican side. That's the Democrats' message right now. As they tell you, you can't even vote in this state's election. We're just skipping certain elections. We're not putting other people on the ballot. We're going to skip the, what do you call them? The debates. We're not going to do any of that shit. I get that Biden's old and you just want him to win, but really it's the wrong way to go about it, in my opinion. And I think it all smacks of money in politics has kind of corrupted everything.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a functional democracy anymore.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
And that's a reason I could see.
Lobbyists.
Yeah. When is the last time that, if you polled Americans on what they believed about X, Y, and Z, when's the last time that we actually got what we thought?
Right, where like you really thought that your vote was counting for what it's supposed to count as. Yeah. But see, here's the thing. If I had my own country, though, it would very much so be a dictatorship.
I would love to see your own country. I just wouldn't want to be next door to your own country. I'm just...
You don't want to live in my country. It's my country.
I'm a look and see kind of person.
Well, it's called Kyle.
Just set up a webcam. We'll watch and see how it goes.
Okay.
All right. So in the, not essence, whatever, in the spirit of moving things along, we're going to go ahead and jump to Shiner's Golden Ale.
Before we all become our own brand of Nazis.
4.6%. There's a bunch of shit on the can if you feel like reading.
No, I've had this before, but I don't remember. It's been a long time.
They did a cool thing over the holiday season. They released something called Home for the Holidays. Stone did the same thing, but it was all IPA. Shiner released 12. It's a 12-pack. All 12 brews are different.
Oh.
And it's stuff that they don't normally release anymore. It's just kind of, falling under the radar. And this is one of those.
They could have gone 24 for the full advent calendar.
They could have, but they didn't.
They did not. They used to have...
And that's why I'm starting my own country.
They used to have a beer called White Wing. Did you ever have that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I missed the shit out of that. That was my favorite of theirs.
So I hesitate to ask this question, but
Golden Ale.
What's the best joke you know? Yeah.
Not a lot on the nose there.
It smells like a half-assed German spring beer. Like you're not picking up a whole bunch from it.
Yeah, no, there's not a whole lot going on in the nose area.
It looks pretty light too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just above like Keystone or Corona or something.
Yeah, again, that's a I can't even address any flavors there.
What about the feel?
Man, maybe I do have COVID. Who knows? The mouthfeel is good. It's a little fizzy, you know. It's very light bodied, which is to be expected with a golden ale. But again, not a tremendous amount happening flavor wise.
It's interesting because I think I'm more forgiving because it's Shiner.
Yeah.
Like, it's Shiner. Okay. It's
I
Shiner.
feel like I'm less forgiving
Maybe,
because
but
I expect more from Shiner.
No, it's just, that's why they get the pass for me,
Yeah.
I guess, because it's just like, I know your other stuff. This is an attempt at something.
I've been known to say that Shiner spring beers lose me because they get they get a lot too light in the body.
Right.
This one, I actually can appreciate because, like you said, there is some fizz. I think that the spice note kind of hits you up front, and that helps with the light mouthfeel. I don't think it goes far enough. It's not the one that I would reach for in Shiner's catalog. I'd give it a 5.
This is, I mean, I think I said on the last one too, this is Shiner's Miller Lite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, it tastes just Shiner Light.
I mean, to help, if they sold this in place of the blonde, I might actually buy it.
Really?
On occasion.
I like the blonde.
It's
man.
okay.
The blonde is a little heavier than I wish it was, but this is, again, very forgettable. That's a 4.
Smooth 4. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4. There's nothing on the nose, just nothing in the mouth. It's not bad. I'm like, what the hell is this? But I'm also not like, hey, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just...
I'm going to give it a 5. I'm going to give it just above the Swifty. And it's probably benefiting from that it's not a pale ale.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
You get a little more maltiness, a little more grain in that, a little less of the hop oil. Yeah, you're picking up what you should be picking up. So, yeah, you're definitely a beer drinker. In the right camp. I'm going to spare you guys the embarrassment of going first here. So the only thing that ever comes to mind when I think about jokes, and it's sad because I'm a dad now, I'm supposed to know all these dad jokes, and I don't know shit. All I ever think about is this stupid joke that kids told when I was in elementary about these 3 dudes that get shipwrecked on an island. Keep in mind, dumbass joke. So they get taken hostage and they get tied up and they get brought before this king, and he's giving them options, right? First person goes up, king says death or bunga bunga. And he says bunga bunga, you know, I don't want to die. And so they bend this dude over and they do him up the ass and they let him go about his way. Second dude goes up there, death or bunga bunga. He takes death, right? He ain't having nothing to do with it. They kill him. The third dude chooses death and the king says death by bunga bunga.
Yeah. That's
I'm going to clip that so you can't tell just how fucked up it is I told it.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to do you a favor. I think I hear...
Is my daughter awake?
I think so. I hear it.
Okay.
So here's what we can do, because I know that joke. That's a Gilbert Gottfried joke.
Is it for real?
Although when he tells it, it's ugu and not bunga bunga.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the first 2 guys say ugu or whatever, and then the third guy's like, well, death, and they go, death by ugu.
So nobody chooses death till the third person. That's where I'm messing it up. If you
wanna
don't
start
know
your-
a
you
joke
wanna start
like,
yours again?
I feel like I chopped it up. It's fine. You know, I did what I did. It's
I said what I said.
it's very representative of who I am for sure. We'll just move on.
see, I'm not the joke teller in my family. My wife's a way better storyteller, a way better joke teller. She's got one. I'm going to give away the punchline because I can't remember the joke. But it's something about cockeyed, and the whole joke is something about a cock.
That sounds like a wife joke for sure.
And
Something about cock.
she tells it great, and I can't remember how it
Boy,
goes.
she was here.
Yeah. Let me call her real quick. Honey, you're on the line with the guys. What's the joke?
All right, so
You know, that's very telling. I'm happy that you're in a good marriage. She tells cock jokes. That's a good starting baseline for sure.
dude, my wife and I, our senses of humor line up a lot of the time, but my favorite form of humor is definitely not in her wheelhouse.
Mhm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't love all of them. I like to purposely say dumb shit
Mhm.
because it's
Same.
dumb, and I think it's funny. which is different from people who just say dumb shit because they're dumb and they don't know any better. I like to think about the dumb stuff I say.
It's the difference between puppets and doll figurines.
Yeah.
Clown figurines, excuse me.
Mhm.
Well, so a lot of times I say things that I think are really funny, and my wife is just like, "You're something special." But every now and then, I'll say something that I think is not particularly hilarious, but it really gets her, and she starts giggling like, "That's what fucking gets you? That's what fucking gets you going? Okay, all right. I have a lot to figure out about you still."
See, we grew up together, obviously, because I'm the same. My Will Ferrell for me.
Oh, I love
It's stupid, and it's the obvious stupid.
The eternal 12-year-old.
And so a lot of
it's
my
intentionally stupid.
a lot of my jokes are pointing out, like literally just pointing out obvious things.
It's smart stupid.
And doing it in a way where I'm obviously in on that it's stupid. I'm in on that I'm being obvious, but it's what gets me.
I've had so many people, not so much anymore, but when I was in like my 20s, when I had so many people who, when I would say anything insightful, they'd be like, "Oh, wow, dude. I did not expect that coming from you." And I'd be like, "Well, what do you mean?" And they're like,
Well, I just thought you're a dumbass.
well, they're like, "You just say so much like goofy, dumb stuff all the time." I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing that on purpose because it's funny.
Mhm.
I'm not stupid."
Yeah.
Okay, but here's my joke. It's not my joke. This is a Gilbert Gottfried joke, but I really like it. So there's a hunter, and he goes out to the woods, and he comes across a bear, face to face across the bear, and he goes and he pulls out his rifle, and he goes to shoot the bear. The bear smacks the rifle out of his hand, bends him over, and fucks him up the ass. And so the guy is really mad. He doesn't like getting fucked up the ass by a bear. So he goes back home, and the next day he goes back out into the woods, and this time he's got a machine gun, and he's real mad. And he comes across the bear, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill this bear." So he pulls the machine gun out, and he's about to shoot the bear, and the bear stands up, and it smacks the machine gun out of his hands, and bends him over, and it fucks him up the ass again really good. And now the guy's really mad about it, right? So he goes back home, he comes back the next day, and he's got a fucking bazooka. And he's out in the woods, and he finds the bear, and he lifts the bazooka up, and the bear stands up, and he says, "You know, I'm starting to think you're not coming out here just to hunt."
My takeaway from this is that most of us remember sex jokes.
God.
I mean, at least,
Oh, God.
at least the one of us in the center of the table is remembering one about cock. Well, I mean, I don't want to pass judgment.
I'm going to interrupt you. I remember the joke now.
Oh, wonderful.
If you guys want to hear it.
Yes,
Please.
let's.
And so, to my wife, Rebecca, I apologize. You tell us way better than I'm going to butcher it. So, I butchered it, I mean, obviously I gave the punchline, but also, when you tell the joke, it's like you're telling a story, and you don't even know it's a joke. So I'm ruining it just because we know we're talking about jokes.
Right.
But so, this new experimental surgery just happened, and this guy had something messed up with his eye, and they had to remove his eyelid, and they used his foreskin because it was just the right texture of everything to replace his eyelid. And
The elasticity is there.
Yep.
Sadly accurate.
Yep. And so they have the surgery and everything gets done. And I can't remember if it's on the reveal or whatever, but generally people ask, well, how did it go? And you go, well, he's a little cockeyed. So
Just picture a bunch of dudes at home doing this right now. Like, it doesn't feel the same.
you're liars.
This is
You're all
doing
liars.
nothing for me.
It's not as sensitive as I like it to be, but...
Next up is Austin Eastciders Cherry Lime Cider.
I love some Eastciders.
5%.
Hang on, let me finish.
You got
This.
2 cups, bruh. I didn't know how to say that word because your brother's here, and it makes
That's a
it
good
super
point.
awkward to call someone brother.
Bruh.
Bruh. Like I'm a South Park character. Question is, have you been to a psychic or medium?
We'll drink first.
Yeah. It's a simple yes or no question. We don't have to elaborate, right?
We don't have to, but I'm gonna.
Like most ciders, it doesn't smell like much.
That's...
Sour apples.
I like ciders. That's a delicious cider. It's not super heavy. It's a lighter cider, but it's good flavor.
If I'll give it anything, they managed cherry lime without making you feel like a limeade.
Mm-hmm.
I fucked up one weekend. We took a cabin trip and decided we weren't going to bring beer. It was just cider only. So I was out there for 2 or 3 days, nothing but cider. And I have not really been able to...
That's a lot.
...to handle it since then. Yeah. It's not bad.
I'm a big fan of... what's the other big cider company? Bishop. I really like their crackberry.
Yes.
Their dark side is really good. And Tiger's Blood is really good too. But I gotta tell you, I do not like their can redesigns. They've gone from this type can, the regular standard 12 ounce, to the taller skinny boy cans, and they've changed the can art, and I just don't like it.
It just pisses you off.
It just pisses me right off, because it was one of those things of like, if it's not broken, don't fucking fix it.
I kept wanting to say Belching Beaver, and I realized that wasn't cider. And then I was thinking something else entirely. It's Angry Orchard was the other one I was trying to come up with.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, that's tasty.
Yeah, that's it's cherry and lime without being like, welcome to Sonic. Yeah, I like it.
I don't know book trends. Like, I've talked about ciders and why I feel the way I feel. I'd say it's 5 for me.
I mean, yeah, I'm not like a humongous cider fanboy. I think they have their time and place. Like on the lake or in a pool or whatever. It's a great time to have one. I feel like ciders and...
the pool had an H.
The... pool, yeah. What are the big seltzers? I feel like ciders and seltzers kind of go hand in hand. Ciders are a little bit more if you just want something with a little bit more punch to it. I like that, yeah.
No, that's it.
I'm gonna
Ciders are like the little brother sour.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good way to think about it, actually.
If you and like... This is going to sound maybe a little...
I just drank my cider through my nose.
That's how you're supposed to do it, I think. This is going to sound a little, I don't know if sexist is the word.
So it's going to sound sexist. Got it.
Well, I don't know if that's the right word. It's negative. I'll give you that.
That is the perfect word.
I just don't know if that's the word.
You nailed it.
Let's just say it.
I will tell you if as a dude, if you invite me over to your house and you're like, hey man, you want a drink? And I'm like,
he's still going to say it, don't worry.
And you hand me a cider, I'm like, well, I don't respect you as much.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Not that it's bad, but I'm like, that's not what I meant.
My question would be, how did you see this night ending? Because this is telling.
I'll still be your friend. I'll still be your friend, but later when I'm hanging out with my other friends, I'm gonna be like, yeah, and then he gave me a fucking cider when he asked me for a drink. And I don't know, so we made out.
I mean, if
like,
it's a delicious
whatever, but
if it's a delicious cider, though,
yeah,
like if it's
you know what,
good
that's
cider,
true actually. Because if you busted out a crackberry, I'd be like, this motherfucker knows ciders.
See?
Okay, all right, sure. But if you gave me one of these, I'd be like, this isn't bad, but.
I wouldn't hate you. I wouldn't hate you.
I wouldn't hate you, but I'd be like...
I wouldn't talk behind your back.
Next time I'd be like, no, I brought my own beers. It's fine.
I really would have preferred that $15 elderberry bottle, but
it's
fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's
Rate
fine.
5.5.
I'm going to give it a 6. It's good. It's good.
It's
not great. It's good. It does what it's supposed to do. It's doing its job. You know?
All right, and our yes or no questions. Have you been to a psychic or medium?
No.
No, not at all. I'm all for facetious entertainment and whatnot. Like, I've only ever been to one strip club in my life, and it was the worst experience of my life. I got kicked in the face. A woman used her corset as a cheese grater, again with my face. It was terrible. Yeah. My wife was there, which is not what you want. Her and the stripper just kept talking to each other, which again is not what you want. And also the whole thing was very expensive, which is not what you want.
Where the fuck did you go?
So what I'm saying is that, but the whole thing, it's all a facade. Like, none of those strippers want to bang you or anything. They just want your money. It's all facetious. Ha ha ha.
South Park episode.
This is all fake, like, whatever. And a psychic is the same thing. You're not getting the real deal. You're getting some person who's bullshitting you for $150 an hour or whatever, And I mean, the good ones, like, I guess I can see how that's entertainment. For me, it would purely be analytical, where I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how you are coming to the conclusions that you're coming to, however accurate they are. Like, oh, you actually got something right. What sort of body language am I putting off? Or like, what tell did you see that you were able to guess that correctly?
The sleeve on his
but that's not,
shirt is stretched out a little bit.
You know, like, that's not entertaining for me. That's, I've wasted my money. And I feel the same way about strip clubs, because they're not going to bang me, and I don't want to bang them. And I've wasted my money.
You got to see something.
Yeah, you know.
Anything to add to that, Jason?
No, maybe. I haven't been to a strip club either. I've not been to a psychic.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to say do or do not go to a strip club. What I will say is that if you do go to one, don't go with your wife.
Oh, see, I thought he was going to say don't get kicked in the face. But...
Well, that too, yeah. Don't do any of the things that happen during my experience, but not going with your wife is a great head start. But also, you're really not missing out on it.
See, we go to drag, we'll go to drag shows. I enjoy drag shows.
That's a young
drag
man's
shows
game,
are great.
you know? It's a young man's game who still hasn't learned to respect women that much. And, yeah, like, I just... although I'm also apparently what can be called a demisexual, where I can't get a boner unless I have, like, an emotional connection with a person.
Oh, okay.
I just thought that was called not being an asshole my whole life, but apparently it's got a whole label on it now. And so the strip club for me, because I'm like, I don't have any feelings towards you one way or the other, my wiener is also not involved in this transaction.
He also has no feelings.
So why did I give you $40?
This tracks now. This tracks completely. Going back to the psychic or medium, I'm going to leave the strip club alone.
They got psychics at strip clubs, you don't know.
I'm in a particularly odd situation at the moment. You know, I had a wife with cancer journey last year, so I'm living the breast-free life at the moment. Soon to change.
She's doing good though, right?
Stay tuned. Yeah, she's cancer-free.
Hell yeah, dude.
Everything's golden. She'll leave me any day. You know, it's one of those things. Psychic or medium? No, I think the same thing. I feel like I would overanalyze. I don't really want to give additional profit to someone in that position. I think a lot of them delude themselves into thinking that they're actually helping.
Oh, yeah. Probably like 75% of them think that they're legit.
I read a book a while back that really messed with me. I loved the plot. I think it's The Immortalist is what it was called. It was about these kids who heard about like a psychic that was living in their apartment complex, and they're little poor kids, and they scraggled this money together and went and talked to this lady. There's 4 of them. And she straight told them all their death dates. And that's what they got out of it. And the whole story just follows how much that fucked them up for life. Yeah, it essentially, yeah. It was brutal, and I think that's what you can get out of it. I really hate seeing, like, you know, my kid died in this horrible accident, and I really just want to know what was on their mind. We didn't talk appropriately before it happened. Like, can you give me a message? And then all you're getting is whatever bile is being spit out of this fucker's mouth that thinks they're doing good, and they're not. There is literally no scientific basis behind it, and I've said way too much. We're getting political.
No, yeah, it's not even political. It's just common sense. It's just all complete gobbledygook. You know, like on the one hand, it's almost respectable. Like, you have to be very good at reading people at face value. You know, like being able to pick up on subtle body movements or the way someone speaks or people that they've mentioned even briefly, and being able to piece together parts of their life story enough that you can then expound upon it. Even when you're bullshitting, but you're able to accurately describe certain things in their life that hit that soft spot for them. Like, it's impressive, but boy, is it shitty.
Yeah. There's a reason you go to school for it. I've seen James Randi do too many takedowns. I think it was
James Randi.
Richard Feynman back in the day, a scientist, who said, maybe it was Randy. One of them did flim flam, the other one did like gree. Everybody got their gree or something like something you can't let go of. That a lot of people I've seen, it's astrology and that sort of thing. I try not to harp on those things because I know it brings a lot of people comfort and makes them feel like they live in a fairly predictable world, and you get to make these quick value-based judgments on people that you don't even know. Cool if that's your personality type. I'm not trying to harp on anybody. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me at all. So, next up, before I start thinking about strip clubs again.
I thought it was a flask for a second. I was like, bro, fucking...
I got the real drinks going.
You want me to set it over here, Jason?
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, y'all done being pussies. Here's my flask.
Paulaner's Salvator, which is a double Bock.
Yeah.
This is 7.9%.
I don't even have to drink it to give my review, but I'm going to.
Body looks nicely over medium.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly carbonated and malted. It's German, pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Quite German.
They have a variety pack out right now, by the way. It's 4 different beers. You get 3 of each. And they're all exquisite, not to blow my rating here.
Munich, Germany, even.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's been a long time since I've had this particular beer. Maybe since I worked at the liquor store.
And if I will say anything about this one is, versus the other Paulaner beers that you can get, it's darker. It's got more of the metallic copper, maybe tomato meatiness to it.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the... Well, let me take my sip first. This is one of those... there's a lot of German beer styles that are very traditional and have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. But beer has evolved and people's palates have evolved and changed. And a lot of those styles, in my opinion, don't stand the test of time. I had... a beer not too long ago that was it was like a traditional German style. I can't remember what it was called. Something about cows. I don't remember off the top of my head. But it was like something brow, right?
Unibrow.
No.
No? That's the best I got.
But it was some kind of, brow. And it was one of those where it was like, I remember beer tasting like this before craft beer really exploded. Like, this is German beer is what it tastes like. It's bad. And I didn't like it. And it was awful. And it was just, a lot of those old traditional styles, I get it. It's tradition, but they don't really stand the test of time. But this one is one of those ones where it's a traditional style that just lends itself to continuous drinkability. Like, it's not too heavy-handed. Mm-hmm. It's very balanced. It's just...
Grain work is perfect.
Yeah, like, everything about it is just so... Like, the coloring is good. Smell is good. Mouthfeel is good. It's not heavy on the ABV, but it's also not super-duper light. I mean, it's fucking 7.9%, Like, that's a healthy ABV on it. It's fantastic. All right, what's the question?
I was going to add that the only negative I'll give to this one is I don't think it's for everyone.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, some people might not like it.
There's a certain kind of beer drinker, like even if you love German-style beers, things out of Belgium, that sort of stuff, like the grains are beautiful. The mouthfeel and the weight and everything, like if you're the type to eat like a burger and you don't want the tomatoes on it, like if we're talking like salted, peppered, like they're spiced tomatoes. They're not just bland ass tomatoes. You get the real deal on this burger. But if you don't like tomatoes, you don't like fucking tomatoes. That's going to be a deal breaker, I think. Even if it's the best burger you have ever had, if you just take the tomatoes off of it, I think that's all I got. Our question, so we're going to attack ourselves now, is what's the most superstitious thing you tend to do? Just the universe getting even with us.
Interesting.
For that last round.
Real quick for me on this, I don't like IPAs because of the bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
This has a little bit of bitterness in it, but it's it's more metallic. It's more spicy tomato or seasoned tomato, whatever.
It's not common. You're not going to taste this everywhere.
No.
So anyway, and you don't have to quickly do anything if you have not heard your brother and I robbing all the air out of the room.
Oh no, you're fine. I tend to just sit here and think anyway. Most superstitious thing I tend to do. There's probably more than I think, but a recent one is sometime in the last couple of months, I got a $2 bill.
Okay.
And I have maintained that $2 bill. It just sits in my no, seriously. And so I just got back from a work trip from Orlando, and I got flown out there on Wednesday, and I drove back the last couple of days. Well, I get dropped off at the airport, and I'm getting my backpack and everything together, and I go inside, and I printed off my boarding pass because it didn't have a barcode on the digital one, and I start walking towards security, and I'm like, well, let me just make sure I got all my stuff together, and I get everything, yep, I'm all good, and I reach for my pocket, and I don't have my wallet. And somewhere in the 5 minutes from being dropped off at the curb to going to the kiosk, I've lost my wallet. And I called my boss. I'm like, could you come back? And there's my wallet in your car. Anyway, the wallet ended up being someone picked it up and went and returned it. And we found someone who had found it, or the person they turned it into, and they gave it back to me, and I got to go and everything else. But I remember sitting on the flight being like, it's that $2 bill. That's why I got it back. Yeah. It's because I have the $2 bill.
And maybe it's the $2 bill that gave you like the gumption, like, I can find this fucking thing.
Yeah. No, see, I definitely thought about it. I was like, it's got the $2 bill. I'm gonna find this. This is gonna happen.
It's like having that 4-leaf clover on hand.
Yeah.
I believe so I work at IT, right? I'm the IT specialist in my job, right?
IT bro.
And there's a lot of times where I get tickets or someone will message me on Teams.
You need to make him a shirt, by the way.
And they'll be
IT
like,
bro.
Yeah.
It was it, bro?
Yeah, I'm definitely a bro when it comes to it, though. When people be like, hey, the monitor's not working,
you're like, clown statues behind them?
My keyboard's acting weird, or like they're just having some quirky problem, right? And then I walk over to their desk, they get there, I'm like, okay, so show me what's happening, and they'll try and recreate it, and they're like, oh, well,
doesn't work.
It's working now that you're here. I'm like, yep, I know. Makes sense. Put in a ticket. But it's like for anything, like unless it's like a real fucked up problem. But for a lot of like your everyday, just like this thing is just behaving so weird, blah. And even if it's a recurring thing, as soon as I walk over to the desk, I don't do shit. I do nothing. I just walk up, and then it's just working, and I go, it's my presence. And not just my presence. That's not me. It's because I'm an IT help desk person. It could be any help desk person. It doesn't matter. But because I walked over here and the computer can tell, I'm going to fuck it up. It better do its job right. And it knows I'm here. And now it's working.
There might actually be something
You're welcome.
to that. I think one of the things that messed with Einstein the most toward the end of his life was the spooky physics sort of stuff. A lot of that seems to deal with awareness of a particular matter. It's like if you are willingly ignorant to a situation, like I don't fucking know why this guitar won't turn on, and I'm not even gonna try to figure it out. I'm just gonna ask the guitar bro. You know, the guitar bro comes over and it's just working.
Yep.
Because there was never mind.
They got the touch. You know what's really funny though is it's I don't know if phenomenon is the word, but the sun puts off radiation, obviously, right? And very small trace amounts of radiation get through the atmosphere and everything, and they come through, and teeny tiny itty bitty particles of radiation can get inside of computers and can change binary where, that used to be a 0, now it's a 1 because a little bit of radiation touched it, and now that's caused a bug in the computer, and now your computer's acting all fucky. And you go, why? Why?
Yeah.
The sun fucked your computer up.
I would lean on Occam's razor here for your situation, though. I would tend to think that the person who complains keeps trying shit, and in the midst of continuing to try shit, they fix the problem and are too... You know
I would normally agree, and it depends on the person, because some people are the kind of people who are like, I'm going to try shit. At my company right now,
not so much.
Everyone, like...
He loves you guys.
The classic... I do like all my coworkers, but they are the kinds of people who... The Simpsons quote of Flanders' parents are like, I've tried nothing and I'm all out of ideas. Like, they don't do any troubleshooting themselves whatsoever. They just go, something's happening. Better message Kyle. And frankly, I prefer it that way because at least I don't have to be like, oh, you tried something and you fucked it up even worse? Thanks, great. Okay. So they just go, it ain't working. And then they fucking hit me up and I come over and, now it's working.
Just reboot.
Good, great.
That's like, start.
90% of the problems, yes.
I used to work in an office where I was the tech person in that office.
Yeah.
And I ran between our team and the IT team a lot because my team would give it to me, and if I couldn't fix it, then I'd take it to IT. And sometimes people would be like, my computer's just logging out, or my mouse cursor is going everywhere, and it would stop doing that when I went to their computer because I was no longer at my desk where I had the Bluetooth keyboard and mouse that I plugged into the back of their computer to mess with them and move it around and Control-Alt-Delete randomly throughout the day. So
talk about job security. Yeah. Oh shit. Okay.
Now you know.
I'm gonna keep this simple. Most superstitious thing that I think that I do. I don't want to bring it back to an ex, but it's the first time I remember seeing it. I had an ex who would like kiss her thumb and touch a clock at a certain time of the day. And it's not that I think it's making any difference. It just comforts me. And if I've learned nothing else in life, I come back to, who's the Hispanic comedian, the Wait For Me dude? God, I can't think of his fucking
Wait For Me?
Yeah. Like you're little kid in a Mexican house and wait for me. He had his own show.
Carlos Mencia?
Yeah, no.
George Lopez,
thank you. I don't even remember where I was going. Oh, if you can be the way you were growing up, you'll always be happy. And that's what I tend to think. Like if it's something that brings me comfort, I don't want to question everything too much. So it's one of these stupid little things I'm gonna do, and if my kids ever see me doing it, they'll know like Dad had his stupid little shit, even though he was a highly critical thinker who couldn't, hold two sentences together clearly over the long haul. But that's all I got.
Now we know why psychics are still in business.
Yeah, they prey on me.
Comfort.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a large part of it. Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm going to give you something that makes you feel comfortable, and so you are more willing to cling to that idea being real. Mm-hmm. It's much more comfortable to be like, oh, my dad from the afterlife said, I'm really proud of you and everything that you've become, and you're doing a great job. And also, I'm sorry about that thing I did. And you, oh my God, that's so wonderful. Versus, no, your dad died and thought you were a disappointment and never said anything nice to you your whole life.
Yeah, and it's not.
Which one of those would you rather believe?
It's not a knock either. I mean, people are preyed upon by experts. That's the whole idea.
Sure.
If you weren't raised in an environment that taught you critical thinking or taught you how the world works, why we know what we know, how computers function, down to the sun changing binary code.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, that's one of those things where I know how computers work. I don't understand why they work.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mysteries. That's what people, if you try to explain critical thinking basics, anything to people, you try to explain where they already have this easy answer, they're going to lean on what they already believe, and they'll treat you like this know-it-all. You're like, no, I don't fucking know it all. I'm just trying to tell you like one little extra thing that you can know that'll make your life better. Anyway, Pale Bock from Sierra Nevada is up next.
I'm really hoping that when my son gets older and he has questions for me about like why things and why this and why that, I really hope that he will listen and actually take to heart when I go, just don't think about it so much.
Do you have the church questions yet? Out of curiosity?
No, he goes
I don't know
he
where
goes
that
to
stands.
a church-based preschool, but they're not super heavy-handed on the religion part.
Okay.
But we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Because I don't have anything against the community aspect of a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when I was a kid, that shit used to terrify me so much. And my kids, they hear from their friends that go or they have questions about like, what's this cool big building? Why don't we ever go to this thing that looks like a mall? You know, like that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I'm completely against it. Dad just remembers playing baseball and then thinking he was the worst person on the face of the planet, and I was going to burn for eternity if I did.
You didn't believe like I believe. So.
Yeah, exactly. Next question. I'm sorry. Is
No, you're good.
oh, we're getting real deep. If you were going to buy a Pez dispenser, what would the head be?
Ooh.
I mean, if it's Lord of the Rings, it's automatic,
Yeah,
right?
that's a pretty clear choice.
Like,
So he and I recently they were showing the
Re-release.
extended editions.
Well,
I
It's
saw
not
your
even a
Facebook
re-release,
post.
just
You don't
a
have to make me
re-release.
relive it in
Dude.
my head as I'm sitting here in hell on earth
12
sometimes.
12 hours. 12 hours.
Extended, right?
yeah,
The original
yeah.
version.
Oh,
So, like,
it was every bit
Never
of it.
gonna get to see that again, probably. Maybe, who knows? But maybe not. And honestly, even if I just got to see Fellowship, that would have been emotionally enough for me because that's my favorite one. But
Fellowship, really.
yeah,
Interesting.
The most stuff happens in it.
It's Return of the King, but anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like when you were young.
But yeah,
That's- it's not the rest of your life. You know, you're not banging it out yet. You're not an adult. It's like, oh, sex is awesome, but it also like, god damn, it creates a lot of problems. You're just this kid in Fellowship. You know what I mean?
well, the Fellowship,
Fuck
so
girls,
much,
you got cooties.
so much story happens in Fellowship. Like Fellowship, you go from like everything's great, ha 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 ha. What? There's a ring. Oh no! Oh shit! We gotta take it to mortar. Ah, they got a cave troll. Oh fuck! We're fighting orcs. Oh, we're disbanding. Where's Frodo? Oh, he ran off. Oh no! Merry and Pippin have been taken. Oh fuck!
Don't they try to pigeonhole all of
And
the
then-
shit in that one too? Like it's
Like most of it,
I
yeah.
think it's the longest.
And then
one I've ever
everything
read.
else is just stuff unfolding, you know. And like, yes, there's character development and story arcs happen, but Fellowship of the Ring is where like you lose Gandalf and shit. You lose Boromir. I saw you crying. I was crying. when Boromir
Of course
died.
you cry.
It's the only time in the whole trilogy where I cry.
And this one's for my wife.
Even
in
Gandalf.
the book, it's even more brutal.
Yeah, like even when Gandalf falls, you go, well, I know he comes back, so fine.
There's 2 more movies.
Yeah, there's 2 more movies of him. But Boromir, you're like, oh, fuck. And he's like, oh, my captain.
Spoiler alert on a 20-year-old
My king. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, his king. But earlier he was like, Gondor needs no king. Oh, fuck, my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Also, his heart is riddled with arrows. And like,
You ever
yeah,
seen the-
man, it's such an emotionally charged movie. And it's just where the most stuff happens. And it's so good. So the point is, yeah, if it was a Lord of the Rings character, I'm buying that Pez dispenser for sure. Like, I got the tattoos on the fucking arms, man.
We
You
got
know?
there. Yeah, you do. How did I not notice that?
Oh, yeah,
Got
no,
'em.
yeah, I didn't have these last
Like,
time. I went
yeah.
to Tahoe with my father-in-law, and
Oh, okay.
when I won a bunch of money, I was like, well, obviously, I'm going to go get nerd tattoos.
Have you seen the Ralph Bakshi?
Fuck yeah.
Half animated?
Have I seen them? I bought them.
I remember when the live action ones came out. It was so weird to me to see like live action
Mhm,
people
right,
doing
mhm.
it.
And not the crazy impish version
Yeah.
of Hobbits. Where they're like, hey, I'm a Hobbit.
And
you're
that
like,
one
"Oh,
goes
God."
like 1.5 stories in. So I always felt like the first movie didn't go far enough.
Well, yeah, the Ralph Bakshi one did not complete the story.
No, but it went further. You know, it wasn't a 3-piece trilogy. I think they had 2.
They got through
and then
2
they
of
had
them. Yeah, and even then, they really half-assed it.
The Hobbit wasn't Bakshi, actually. It wasn't back then. It was
No, The Hobbit was something
the
else.
people who did the Christmas movies.
Uh-huh.
I actually still like that. Anyway,
That was like the version you see at school, where they're like, we're going to watch a movie today, class. It's the shitty animated version of The Hobbit. You could be doing work. Would you rather do that? Shut up.
Nope, The Hobbit.
You're like, gotcha. Fun story. Ralph Bakshi, not really a fun story. Ralph Bakshi put out another movie, several of them, where he did that rotoscoping type of animation called Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. That talk about like the horniest bunch of dudes that were like, we're gonna just animate over this lady's titties, right?
Yeah.
Can we just make her titties out the whole time? She should have a bra on. Okay.
It's like that Rob Zombie,
but everyone's gonna know her titties are out there.
or whatever it was that came out. Like it's purposely trying to make a dick hard.
Yeah.
One that likes cartoons.
Do you know what rotoscoping is?
No.
So rotoscoping is when you film live action and then you animate over it frame by frame, so that the motion is still very fluid and looks like live action-y, because it is.
That's what he was popular for.
But that it's animation. And so this movie, the main female protagonist is just in a fucking G-string and teeny tiny bikini top the whole time, and she's running from bad guys and, oh, but my boobs. And
it did nothing for you because there was no emotional connection.
But there's no emotional connection, exactly, yeah. But, yeah, I was...
What's the ABV on this beer, out of curiosity?
This one, that's
6.8.
Okay. It smells great.
Oh.
I don't know about the taste. I like the smell.
Yeah.
There's something in the aftertaste, the late taste, that I enjoyed.
Okay.
It's peppery.
I'm gonna be a little. I'm gonna be a little useless. My allergies have kicked in a little bit, and I can't really smell or taste a whole lot right now. So
peppery juice.
I'm really just in the utilitarian phase of it. Peppery juice.
It's like the gristle after you've cooked the steak.
Yeah.
Like this would be good with that.
It's
Do you have any steaks?
You know,
you have any gristle?
Dude, let's go cook. It's like I want chicken wings right now for some reason.
I recently
you don't need a reason to want
made 20 pounds of carnitas.
What?
It's all
Your
gone.
brother's like, why was that not in my...
It's all gone. Let me tell you,
man. I thought we were family.
Disconnect. This guy gives you a little bit of utopia.
Out of my well.
Go ahead.
Pork shoulder was on sale for $1 a pound, and so I bought one. Literally just because it was on sale. Turned into dad.
How did you go to 20 pounds?
Well, I'll get there.
Oh my god.
And it was 8 pounds. And I bought it, and I went home. I was like, "Well, I got to figure out what to do with it."
Oh, the one shoulder was 8 pounds.
Yeah, and so I Googled, and I pulled pork or carnitas, and I love both, but I love carnitas, and so I was like, "Okay." So looking up a recipe, I got a recipe. Let's do this again. I'll make carnitas. This recipe's
it's on now, and we're gonna do the dice thing. We're gonna get like 20 beers on hold and just D20 it out. While we eat carnitas on camera.
You know,
I'm interrupting your story.
While doing a D&D session.
Yes.
La Azteca, you know what their secret ingredient is to their marinades?
Love.
Sunny D.
It's what?
Sunny D.
Sunny Delight.
Yes.
I was hoping you were not cum.
Not Sunny. Thank God.
Sunny D. That is what I call my cum.
In the carnitas recipe, literally, it's you cook it in orange juice.
Yeah, it's the citrus.
Yeah.
The acid.
Yeah, it helps break down the meat.
The citric acid, if you
will. But it also,
it
helps keep the... I'll make the carnitas. I'll give you guys a little story. Yeah. That being said...
It helps drown the cum.
I went back to the grocery store and bought another larger pork shoulder that couldn't fit in my pressure cooker. Like, I got it in there, but like the other ingredients that I had to put in there, the onions and the garlic and... I had to smush stuff around.
I like how you pronounced onions.
And you had to smush stuff. Okay, so
and then the orange juice, I was like, I hope it doesn't just overflow out of my pressure cooker. It did during the cooking.
I understand the purpose of the story, but I think your co-hosts are now wondering, did you come on the carnitas?
No.
Okay.
Maybe while eating them, but not.
I was gonna say it was involved somewhere.
They're all gone now.
I'm gonna ground us just a little bit because I'm enjoying the conversation too much. We kind of fucked up. I'm gonna say 8 here.
Oh yes.
And I think I'm going 7 here. I really like what's going on here. This is a beautiful beer.
Oh, we totally did skip the rating on that one, didn't we? I give that one. That's a 9 for me. It's near perfect for what it is. It's hitting all the check boxes, you know. Like you said, it's not going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
Nothing is sure.
It makes me want to see you try the rest of them because they're all less boozy, less heavy in the body. So I'd be curious.
Yeah.
I like 2 of my favorite beers are Paulaners of their 4.
Man, it's so hard now to even. I have a hard time saying what my favorite beer is anymore because it's so. What?
I know you no longer.
Motherfucker, dude.
I'd say I'm giving this a 7.5. I like it a lot. If you like this, it's there. I do like it. Yeah.
I want to get to chocolate with you, like a heavy chocolate mouthfeel.
I'm gonna go ahead and
those s'mores that I have in there.
Why I gave him the look,
I bet.
and that's because is there anything better than Lakewood's Temptress?
Yes. It's such a good beer. I love it. Oh my goodness. It's a nice, warm, soft memory. It's a comfort blanket, but I've had better beers since then. It is a perfect. It's a perfect beer. I'll give you that. Huh?
Is it a nitrous beer?
Not you can get a nitro version, but if you just get the straight,
just the normal is what we're talking
just
about.
Just chocolatey coffee.
Yeah, no, it's
smooth.
Delicious.
Okay.
I should have just brought you. I didn't.
You should have.
It's been a minute.
No, Lakewood Temptress. There's nothing to complain about there. Everything about it, it hits all of the notes, and every time I have it, I'm like, "Yep, that's perfection. Good job." But I've had other beers that when I've had them, I go,
"That were more than perfect."
That's even more perfection. Wowie, wow! It's dude.
See, that's why you gotta respect the halves because then you at least have room for that 10.
Dude, have you ever had any of the Tupps Full Grown Man?
Mm-hmm.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then exactly. So every year they put out another variation of it. So Full Grown Man, it's another chocolatey stout. It's delicious. The ABV is there. The flavor is there. The mouthfeel is there. Everything about it is so good. And then every year they just do a little like, hey, we're gonna, not even every year, like a few times a year they put out a variation where they have like full grown, so Full Grown Man is the regular, and then there's like Full Grown Scallywag, there's the Christmas one, like Full Grown Nick, shit like that, and they keep upping the fucking ABV ante, where like the last one I had, I didn't look at the can before I go, well, no, it's too chocolatey and dark to be mead. But I didn't look at the can before I cracked it open and drank it. And I was standing in the kitchen talking to Rachel for like maybe 15 minutes. And I'm drinking this beer. And I drank the whole thing. And by the end of the beer, I was drunk. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what is this? 18% ABV, what the fuck?
Nice.
Okay. And I had 3 left. I was like, well, I'm not drinking those tonight, obviously.
So what are you rating the Pale Bock?
So I got to tell you, this was the last one I could taste. My allergies kicked in. So I have nothing of the mouthfeel is good. I like the mouthfeel of it.
I'm going to give it a 6. It's a solid 6.
I have no
It's a solid 6.
Kind of bummed out.
It's good.
I'm trying again.
It is kind of shitty. You can't. You're on a beer show and you can't really smell them or taste them.
Oh, his not being able to smell the show. I was like, it's not a shitty beer.
My bad. I should have specified. Did we answer this question?
I
have nothing.
Yeah.
Damn it, that's so
Pez
annoying.
dispenser.
You rated.
Yeah.
We skipped around, but you rated.
The beer took us a lot of places.
I'm actually kind of worried for your brother here. If he can't taste this one,
sucks to suck.
I don't know how much we're gonna get out of him on this Red Zone lager.
He'll still.
I'm gonna be honest. Based on it's Sam Adams. Okay, so it'll at least be decent. I thought Red Zone was the name of the brewery, and I was gonna say based on that, it's probably gonna be shitty. But it's Sam Adams, so it'll at least be decent.
Should be malty. At least we answered the question. I think we probably did. Oh, I did not. Pez,
we took over.
Pez dispenser. The child in me immediately says something Winnie the Pooh, and the adult in me is thinking like South Park. If I saw South Park Pez dispenser, I could not pass it up. I'd hope they would have like Pez flavors, dude. Yes.
Give me a set of Archer fuck, I'm here for
That's
it.
perfect.
You know, if we're talking about, one that doesn't already exist and maybe would be very rare, where you're like, holy shit, I have to buy that no matter how much it costs.
It's a little sticky.
Then maybe...
That's what she said.
This one's 6.2%.
I really like sci-fi shit a lot. But I also, in recent years, I've really gotten into schlocky movies where, like, they're very exploitative. Like the old Sword and Sorcery where it's like, ooh, I'm fighting barbarians, but look at my boobies while I do it. Where it's like, this is such horse shit, but something about it is just so appealing.
Let me let you in on the secret.
It's not even the boobies part. It's not even the boobies part. I know. But that's not even it. It's not even the boobies part. It's the fact that they were able to, for like a decade, just be like, yeah, we're going to have swords, and a guy's going to wear a loincloth, and you're going to pull your boobs out. And then the guy's going to come in, and you're like, oh no, and your boobs are going to be out. And you're like, it doesn't really matter. None of it matters because the whole movie was made for this lady's boobs.
I bet if you try hard enough on the internet, you'll find a section
that
does that.
And they still exist. Well, and so now, lately, I've really been into Steven Seagal movies, but only the ones that came out after 2010.
Only the one that had boobs in them.
Man.
None of them have boobs in them.
Oh, okay.
A couple of them do. But most of them don't. And even when he's in a sex scene, he's never naked. He's always fully dressed in a leather jacket and sunglasses, and there's a lady who's like, ooh, Mr. Seagal, and he's doing this. Not even touching them, just being like, yeah, we're obviously having sex. And there's just something about the shittiness of it.
Seagalness of
That
it.
is so appealing to me. And the same thing applies to those old 80s schlocky sword and sorcery terrible movies of like, now pull your boobs out of the loincloth or whatever the fuck, where like... you go, how did you get a budget? How did you get a budget for this movie? Just make a porno or whatever.
Titties. Somebody with money wanted to see the titties.
Right, but why did you craft a story? And why did you hire a costume department and all this
That's
stuff?
what it took to get her to show her titties.
They didn't hire anybody. They did it. It was all DIY.
But there's sets and there's props and they got like there's horses in them and shit. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Why?
Now,
and something about that is very appealing to me. I don't know why. But so for me, the sort of beginning of that was with Jane Fonda's Barbarella.
Barbarella,
that movie exists for Jane Fonda's boobs.
Yes,
straight up. And if there was a Barbarella Pez dispenser, I would immediately hone in on the fact that like, holy shit, they probably only made like a few of those. I'm gonna buy that right now. How much is it? $200? Fine.
They made 10 million of them, but you'd still buy one.
Probably, but they've all gotten burned up from fucking smoking weed or whatever the fuck.
So to be fair to you, you would recommend like campy ass horror films on Facebook sometimes that were just, I can't think of like, sometimes they're just action films.
Leprechaun.
Yeah, it's not even.
Leprechaun's my favorite campy horror movie.
The mid
of all time.
Saturday afternoon Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh yeah,
Mega Croc versus
The Asylum.
Yeah,
those two. That two. Yeah. As far as terrible horror movies go, it's The Asylum for sure. Absolutely.
So Barbarella and In the Skin is Scarlett Johansson.
Under the Skin.
Under the Skin.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Both of them live rent free in my head because they're the sort of movies where I feel like as a male, I never appreciate it appropriately because there's only two ways I'm going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get through this without wanting to beat off? Or am I just so unhorny that I'm not even appreciating all the boobs and stuff that are on camera right now, which it's a shit film. Like, now, to be fair, Under the Skin has...
Under the Skin's like an art house, but...
Once you know that...
No one's watching it for the art.
Those weren't scripted interviews, like it's actually her picking dudes up. Once you know that about that Scarlett Johansson, it goes a little further.
I mean, if Scarlett Johansson was like, hey, I'm going to yank your skin off and eat you, I'd still be like, well, okay.
Cool.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, that's the problem is you don't even feel bad for any of the guys in that position. Hold on. You made me look like Scarlett Johansson and then you yourself were still undressing me? In fact, oh, fuck. Let's do this.
Okay.
Question for the Red Zone Logger is how long would your ideal nap last?
Ooh.
And did we get ADD on this one?
6.2.
6.2.
My ideal nap lasts exactly 20 minutes. That is as long as it takes for me to get a little bit of recharge for energy, but I'm not sleeping long enough that when you wake me up, I'm just more tired.
What year is it? Yeah.
I would say the perfect nap is like a wizard. It arrives neither early nor late, but it will last
So you just
as
go to
long as
sleep and let it
precisely
happen,
as it needs to. Yeah. It depends. I don't know. It's circumstantial. There are days where I can crash out for 3 hours, and that's the perfect one. There are times where I really do just need. Power naps do work, but I can be up for 20 hours, and if I can get a solid 20-minute power nap, I'll go another 20 hours.
Yeah.
Like a good power nap can carry me if it has to. But the ideal nap in the 2 to 3 hour range, probably.
See, for me, I might as well sleep all night.
The length of a baseball
I
game.
want to do that.
So I'm gonna hit y'all with some science, but first I want to talk about Sling Blade, because I struggle. It's one of my favorite movies, but I struggle with it lately because there's this point where he's having the mom make biscuits in the middle of the night, and she says something like, "You know how when you only get 2 or 4 hours of sleep, you feel worse than if you didn't get any sleep at all?" Yes, ma'am, I do. That sort of thing. From a scientific standpoint, your REM sleep cycle, you're not gonna hit it until you are at least asleep for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're not really going to come out of your REM sleep cycle until 90 minutes, so an hour and a half. So you either need to take a nap that's under 30 minutes or preferably like 1.5 hours, 3 hours, 4.5 hours, 6 hours, something like that. There is
6 hours is not a nap.
Yeah, that's sleep. That's just sleep.
That's a night's sleep.
That's a full rest.
I
Reset your
apologize.
spells.
I apologize to our female audience. We know how you like to get down on the weekends. So Red Zone, my ideal probably is one of those two. It's either 30 minutes or like an hour and a half. I do appreciate the power nap for fucking sure. It's surprising when you get 15 minutes, 20 minutes, how much difference that makes. I don't agree with Sling Blade coming back to it. Like, I would rather get a little bit of sleep. It's just when you wake up in the REM cycle, you are fucked up and it sucks so bad. But as long as you can just let it happen, fuck yeah.
So I am not good. I can't purposely take naps. The routine at my house.
Because there's no emotional connection.
Yeah. Well, and I need to come. So,
when you're 90, this joke will still be funny.
if I can't come during a nap, what's the point? So
promise me you'll go to a strip club someday
take a
and
nap?
tell a stripper this.
Oh.
I want the lap dance, but just understand.
There's no
emotional connection.
Well, see, the problem with that though is, what if they say something where suddenly there is an emotional connection? I'm like, now I have to leave my family.
I was going to say that everyone out there is hating the two of us because we're giving you a hard time, and that's exactly how I think a lot of people feel. Something to be said for an emotional connection. Don't get me wrong. Go ahead.
So at my house,
I've never been to a strip club. It's just a fun joke.
During the week, my wife and my son get home from his school / her job at about 2:45, and she immediately brings him out of the car. Best case scenario, he falls asleep in the car. She picks him up gently and transfers him into our bed, where they nap together for about an hour.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah,
no
right.
wonder you have an emotional connection.
And then on the weekends, or on like holiday weeks or whatever, he goes down for a nap at about 2 p.m. We try and get an hour and a half out of him. If we get an hour, fine. If we get less than an hour, we go, God damn it. But all right, whatever. But my wife is the one who naps with him every time. I can't nap with him because for whatever reason, if I try to take a nap in my own bed during the middle of the day, it gives me some sort of weird, I can't even call it anxiety. It's just like a weird pressure in my chest that would maybe turn into anxiety if I just kept laying there. So I have to get up and go out to the living room. And then if I sit in a recliner and I play video games for 15 seconds, I'm unconscious. But if I try to take a nap, I can do it for like a little bit, but then I'm going to wake up anyway and be like, and I feel that like my heart's beating and I'm like, oh, it's the middle of the day. I shouldn't be sleeping. And it's very fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But part of the reason that is because anytime I've purposely tried to take a nap out in the living room. As soon as I get into an actual sleep, that's when my fucking son wakes up early and is like, Dad, I'm awake. I'm like, God damn it. It's been 5 minutes. Like, all right, I should have just played video games. So for me, the 20-minute nap that's the primo. That's about as long as I get anyway. And that's all I need. Until he goes to sleep at night. And then as soon as he is asleep, I'm immediately tired.
I'm over here selfishly thinking about how many like ums and stuff I'm gonna have to cut. Because you're king of finishing your thought, which I respect, and I'm the dumbass who's like, I think he's done with his story. And this I get from my co-host because she says all the time. Instead of just talking and giving your spiel, you gotta like front load it. Like, oh, this is my turn to talk.
You know who I have to think about that is Obama.
Oh yeah,
he speaks very purposely. And one thing that
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama. And one thing that I learned from him, if you watch him, he doesn't say instead of saying he just lets there be that silence. So that way, when you're trying to think of the next words you're going to say, instead of saying
into it,
you just pause for a second, and then you just say it when you're ready.
Dude, that's
and
a Jedi mind trick right there.
It lends itself to you. It makes you seem more thoughtful and more insightful versus you don't know what you're trying to say. Even though it's the same thing, like my brain is just going, what are the next things you're going to say? You just let that silence hang for like half a second and then keep going.
Well, let's pretend I'm that.
The non-manifestation.
I think they named this appropriately. Sam Adams, it smells kind of like a weak red. You know, you get that metallic sort of thing on the nose. But then when you taste it, it's somewhere between, it's got that American after grain thing that happens in Budweiser or whatnot. Mouthfeel and everything up front. It's totally Sam Adams. It feels great. It feels perfect. And then in the end, you can tell, no, that's an American football beer. Like it's coming back. Not my particular style. I like the European beers a little more.
It definitely makes me feel like I'm at I'm watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
like it's that. And I like watching the Super Bowl.
You're at the party.
I can't taste it, but I'm assuming it tastes exactly like how I thought, like you said, where it's not bad, but it's definitely a football beer.
Yeah.
Where you're like, all right, I'm drinking this during the game.
Will it kill you if we give you like a... Help me out
epilepsy
here.
medication?
No, what do you have? What are you talking about right now? Allergies, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it kill you if you take like an allergy medicine while you drink? Because I don't know the answer to that question. And
is it supposed to kill? Does it
no,
kill
I just mean maybe it would help, you know?
Oh, yeah, sure. I don't know.
I don't want a whole night of you sitting here like, I can't fucking taste it or smell it, but I mean, it feels all right.
For me, that's the fun thing about drinking is that even if I can't taste it...
You're still going to feel it.
Depending on what I'm drinking, that's a good thing. If it was this, it's probably great. I got to taste that, and that was fantastic. So, that's the last thing I really need.
I will say that's the one for the night.
Yeah.
Good place.
Dude,
that's the one for the night.
Salvator is so good.
This one, if it wasn't for the aftertaste, I'd go a little higher, but I'm going to sit at 5 for it just because that American beer after thing, I've never been crazy about Budweiser or those types of beers, and that's totally where it's at in the grains and the after.
No, I'll agree with that. That's a 5.
I'm going to give it, this is a Schrodinger.
You had it, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a Schrodinger score. It's both a 0 and a 10 for me. Because I can't tell the difference.
Hopelessly flawless.
Yeah.
Flawlessly hopeless.
It's awful and amazing at the same time.
With that, help us keep the combo going by sharing our video. We'll see you next time for another round at the Banner Bar.
We enjoy the emotional connection.
I'll just leave you a little sip in case you want to go back.
I appreciate the sip. I think I could drink quite a bit of this.
I just want to see how it feels in my mouth.
I guess we'll see you next time.
On the Banter Bar.
I would never, ever in my life, unironically, tell someone, oh yeah, I'm a demisexual. I have to feel an emotional connection with you before I want to plow you. I would just be like, yeah, I like to know the person that I'm putting my dick in. That's what it comes down to. That's not my sexual preference.
Is the person on the opposite end of the spectrum just a normal sexual person? I always thought,
Right?
they used to say, what's the thing where dudes would like to take care of themselves? Is that
Metrosexual. Yeah.
I'm definitely that.
what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Like, isn't that
Like,
most
guess
people?
what? I shave my balls. Is that a type of gay? Like, what does that mean? You know? Fucking, you know what? I don't shave my balls because
I
I'm
thought
like...
you were saying you shaved them to come over here for this. Yes.
Tell me this is still
I'm
recording
gonna
for
go
the
hang out with
Patreon.
Shane. I'm gonna need to shave these balls. But here's the thing: I don't shave my balls because I'm like, this is how I feel today. I shave my balls because guess what? My wife likes when I shave my balls.
Good night, folks.